Your credit score and credit report are super important when it comes to getting approved for a mortgage for a rental property in Canada. So I would like to share with you what's important from a lender standpoint and also give you some tips and strategies to stay on top of your credit and to be proactive in doing so you don't get surprised when the time comes to apply for a mortgage. So from a credit standpoint, the lenders will look at two things. One, they're going to look at your credit score, and they're going to look at the content of your credit report. When it comes to the score, whether you're going to a bank or you're going to a credit union or you're going to an alternative lender, they want to make sure that your credit score meets what they're looking for. So for banks, for example, they are looking for a minimum credit score of 650. Now, if you have a credit score below 650, I don't want you to get discouraged because there are options out there for you. In fact, we finance rental properties with credit scores as low as 500. And the idea here is to go to a lender that works with that credit score and then help you turn it around, let's say over a period of 6 months or 12 months, to be able to get you a cheaper loan once the credit score increases. Now, if you're on top of your credit, sometimes you would have enough runway to improve it before you go apply for a loan. For us as mortgage advisors, we can guide you and let you know that, maybe you are 10 points below where you need to be, knowing that you want to purchase a home or purchase a rental. And here are the things that you can do in the next month, in the next 6 months to help improve your credit score. That could be paying down certain things. That could be making sure you've tackled a collection that is showing on your credit and things like that. So credit score is super important. But as important is the content of your credit report, because here is what the lenders look for beyond just the score. They will look, number one, at what's called utilization. And utilization is how much you've used out of the credit tools available to you. Let's look at an example. Let's say you have a credit card with a limit of $10,000. And let's say you have used $7,000 of that $10,000. So in this example, utilization is 70%. So the lenders will look at how much you've used out of your unsecured cards, out of your credit cards, out of your secured line of credits, and so on. That's what's called utilization. And you want to stay below this 70% if you can. So I understand as real estate investors, we use these credit facilities sometimes to renovate properties, to cover unexpected expenses that may come up, to pay contractors, to tie down a deal. Completely get it. And there will be times where you are above the 70%. All I'm saying is consciously keep this number in mind. And if you see that you exceed the 70% and you've got dollars to pay down something, try to bring down the utilization below that 70% within 30 days if you can, or as soon as you can, because the higher the utilization, the higher it goes above this 70%, the more pressure it puts on your credit score. All right. Now, there will be times where, like I said, as a real estate investor, you're sitting at a high utilization because you've used that money towards something in your property portfolio. We can go to the lender and explain why that is the case. Maybe you've just finished a renovation and you're looking to pay yourself back. And through the refinance, we can bring down the utilization. And once we do so, that will help push your credit score up. So utilization is super important. The second one is related to the payment on time. So you really want to make your payments on time within the 30 days. You don't want to miss these payments, and you want to avoid a situation where you're missing a payment on a mortgage, because if a lender looks at your credit report and sees that you've missed a payment on a mortgage that is reporting on your credit, that is a lot more significant and major compared to missing a payment on, let's say, a credit card. So stay on top of your payments. One key tip is to automate payments. This way, you don't have to remember to make these payments. So that is super important. So utilization, paying on time. And the third one is related to collections. I had a client that did not stay on top of their credit. Great client. And at the time of applying for a mortgage to purchase a property, they learned that there was an outstanding utility bill on their credit report. They were shocked. But things happen, Sometimes someone, doesn't pick up the mail or misses a deadline for whatever reason, and the bill goes to collection. You don't want to learn about that in the midst of a deal, all right? But collections are another element that will determine the score, and you don't want to learn about that in the midst of a deal. So in terms of general tips or key tips for you, I recommend that you register for a credit reporting service like Equifax. That would be a lot more accurate than relying on some of the other online capabilities for updating you on credit. And yes, it's going to cost you some money, but it's going to be well worth the investment to stay on top of your credit, let's say every quarter or every 6 months. You want to see what's showing up on your credit report. You don't want to learn about these things in the midst of a deal. And just pay attention to these 3 things: utilization, making payments on time, and any collections. Your credit score, your credit report can make or break a deal, can actually switch your deal from a great mortgage into a more expensive mortgage. So I invite you to stay on top of it and to manage it proactively.